Alright, so in the midst of all these issues and all what's happening in the world right now with police brutality riots and all of that, I thought I would put my ideas out there and see how many people hate me after that. So, George Floyd, Rip Man, the guy who uh, he did check fraud for I think $20 and then got killed by a police officer that had no idea what the fuck he was doing. And yeah, so, well, if I'm being completely honest, there's issues on both sides here. I'm gonna start with the police side because that's the side that people are really angry about. And let's just say, let me just tell you before, you're not a hero for posting something on the internet. You're not a hero for posting a black screen on the internet. You're not a hero for doing any of this shit. You're not a hero for being outraged. Okay? There's no heroes needed here. The situation has been done like a few hours after George Floyd was killed. Okay? Stop being this overly pretentious, proud person for no reason because there's nothing you're doing there that's helping anyone and definitely not helping black people. I think people don't understand what it means to be a police officer, and I don't think people understand what it means to be put in a situation like this. Let's just imagine with me for a second. You're in a precinct, all right? You're sitting there. You've got your morning, I don't know, coffee with your friends, and then all of a sudden you get in your squad car. You have to go around, and you get called into a certain situation. So you reply to it, yes, I'm gonna be there. You have no idea what's gonna be happening there. You got a certain code that means a certain general thing. You get there, you see some guy with running around or something, and then you detain him. Now, the police's job is to protect and serve. And whether the police officer thought it would be it would be good to protect the public by detaining George Floyd or not, it's their job. Now, where the cop fucked up completely is by not understanding what it means to detain a person right and how to detain a person right. You don't put your knee on a person's neck like it's a podium. So, no police officer is taught the neck restraint thing with the knee. That does not exist. So, he did it out of nowhere. What does that mean? There's two options here. Either he's a racist asshole motherfucker who wants to do this to someone, which is very plausible, or he had to do some quick thinking and had to use whatever he had to keep his hands free. And that was his first thing that came to his mind. Remember, police officers are under tremendous pressure to keep everyone safe. Now, who knows? Maybe this police officer really is a racist asshole who really wanted to kill a black person, which honestly I find this to be one of the least productive measures. He could have taken him to an alleyway and beaten him up there. What we know now is apparently that George Floyd resisted arrest due to being claustrophobic after the cops were called onto him, and then after he was tossed down on the floor because he wasn't complying with the police officers, he started saying that he can't breathe. I want you to put yourself in the place of the police officers. You have a criminal, alright? Let's remember, George Floyd is a criminal. Even though his crime is very minute and doesn't matter, he's still a criminal in this case. So, George Floyd, a criminal that committed a crime, and you're asked to detain him and take him to the precinct so he can be dealt with justice. George Floyd resists arrest and then gets put in cuffs. Then he stops resisting arrest. Then you take him into the squad car. He resists getting into it, says he's claustrophobic, and then doesn't agree to go in. And then the police officer is getting agitated here because he's worried that maybe George Floyd is buying time, maybe George Floyd is asked for something to come. You don't know. You don't know when you're a police officer what's gonna happen next. All you know is that there's a guy that you need to take to the police station, and he's resisting, and that's not a good look. That's pretty fucked up because, okay, so if George Floyd is claustrophobic or not, the police officer has no way of knowing. I can tell a police officer many thousand things, doesn't mean they're true, alright? Now the only reason we know that he might have been claustrophobic is because we have hindsight. And if you're gonna use hindsight to judge the situation, you're pretty fucking shitty of a person. Because that means you kinda lack empathy towards the people who had to deal with detaining a person, alright? And also from George Floyd's side, imagine having to maybe honestly, the way I see it, George Floyd probably didn't know that the check was fraudulent or the check was. Yeah, I mean, he probably didn't know that. And then having police officers come up to him, that's pretty fucking scary. Having to deal with police officers pointing their guns at you, telling you to get out, cuffing you, that's pretty scary. And on both sides, you gotta understand what it means to be a police officer and to be a person who's getting arrested. It's hard for both sides. You can't blame one or the other. You can't blame anyone in this situation. It's really hard. It's really hard to be in this situation for both of them. And if you're gonna sit there and act like it's one person's fault over the other, then honestly, you're worse than both. You're worse than the police officers that killed George Floyd, and you're worse than the George Floyd who has committed a crime. And that's the way I see it. There's a lot of things that police officers need to do and follow by the book, or else they will get shot. They will be killed. A lot of police officers die in the line of duty. I don't see riots for police officers when they die in the line of duty. Okay? And I said duty. You can laugh. Police officers have a lot of pressure on them to protect others, to not fuck up all the time, and they're always being sent out into the worst situations without having any idea what they're gonna find. That is pretty fucking scary. Imagine living a job that is a surprise at every turn. It's like being in war, just a lot less pressure, I guess, which is not that little, which is a lot of pressure. And people don't understand it, and people don't want to understand it. People just want to be outraged. Now, I'm not saying that you should feel bad for the cop that killed George Floyd. Honestly, I think he should have been punished for sure. One, because he fucked up and he didn't know how to restrain a person, and two, because he did not know how to resuscitate a person after he has been asphyxiated, which is really hilarious for me. Like what part of police training does what kind of police training doesn't teach you how to resuscitate a person after you've killed them? Like what the fuck? Just beat his chest until he wakes up. That doesn't make any sense. This seems like basic police training. You don't just put him in an ambulance. He's not gonna live. You need to wake him up. You need to revive him. So that's where he fucked up completely. And secondly, I mean, not secondly, but I think he should have been punished for sure, and he did get his punishment. Him and his colleagues all got fired. That's pretty bad. And you know what's even worse? The fact that everyone saw this on the internet. Alright? What does that mean? That means him and his colleagues all are publicly and socially assassinated. There's nothing they can do now. Nothing. There's literally nothing they can do. There's no options for them in life. Nowhere. No one likes them anymore. No one in the entire world will hire them. They have nowhere to go. And I'm not being pitiful to them. I don't care about them. I really don't give a shit. But what I do give a shit about is truth and honesty. And I don't see any truth and honesty in these riots. And that's why I think it's really not important to continue those riots, because the people who needed to be punished are punished. And that's the way I see it. And if you hate me for it, I don't care. Either way, enjoy the riots. I mean, they're so funny to look at. Just people running around and squabbling for something completely stupid. I guess Donald Trump is gonna make Antifa a terrorist group. I don't know what he was waiting for, but that's cool, I think. They really are a terrorist group. And other than that, yeah, this is, I mean, I'm done. I just had to say this because I was scrolling through Instagram. It's so early, I just woke up, my neck is groggy. Alright, show me how much you hate me in the comment section. We'll see you.